Let's talk about money. This is how it started. Money has a certain intrinsic value. This can be gold, silver, salt, seashells, coins, whatever a critical mass of people can commonly agree upon. It is completely understandable for everyone. 1 ounce of gold means 1 ounce of gold. Easy as that. Here is how it's going. Today, money is backed by trust in a centralized entity. There's no physical reserve like gold backing it. A critical mass of people trusts their governments and central banks that the paper money they hold in their hands has and keeps a certain value. But does it really? What's the problem with today's money? Basically, there are two main issues. It is centralized and its supply is unlimited. This leads to decreasing purchasing power over time. Centralized money issues are corruption, mismanagement, concentrated control and power, which means money can be devalued in a matter of days. Just ask your Argentinian friends, they might know very well. Your account can also be frozen or the legal status of a currency can be cancelled within a short amount of time, as we have seen in India in the past. So, you might wonder, if money has all these problems, why is it still as widely accepted? Well, one main argument is entities in power make sure not to lose their position of control and management. Thus, it remains legal tender, meaning the money that is accepted by the government. However, we also have to admit that up to recent years, there was no other solution out there solving a more practical issue without a centralized approach, the double spend problem. Basically, today, banks ensure that your $1,000 in your bank account cannot be double spent by keeping a centralized ledger which is keeping record of all money movement. Well, all this changed in late 2008 when this white paper was published and Bitcoin was born. Bitcoin is a monetary system that no government or bank can control. It is decentralized and as such, there is no entity behind it. No government, bank, company is controlling Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a digital currency without physical coins that operates independently of a central bank. It was created in October 28 by an anonymous person or group of people known as Satoshi Nakamoto. Moreover, it's the first currency to solve the double spend problem in a decentralized way. Well, how does it do that? Bitcoin has a transparent ledger without a central authority, the so-called blockchain. This means that everyone can see which transactions have taken place on the thing called the blockchain. There, every transaction is verified and added in a block that is followed by another block with another transaction. These blocks can, by definition of Bitcoin's code, never be changed. This not only solves the double spend problem, but makes Bitcoin transactions secure and transparent. So, you might say, everyone can look up how much I own on the blockchain? No, not really. The blockchain is pseudo-anonymous. This means there are no real names stored on the blockchain. Each transaction is linked to wallets which identify by 25 to 36 alphanumerical characters. How does this blockchain thing really work? Does it verify? What is the process behind it? Here, it's about to get a tiny bit technical, but stay with me. I'll explain it as simple as possible. When a transaction is made, it is broadcasted to the Bitcoin network. This network consists of thousands of computers around the world. These computers, so-called nodes, verify the transaction using complex algorithms. Once the transaction is verified, it is added to a block of transactions, and this block is added to the blockchain. What's the benefit of running such a node? Well, miners, which are specialized computers that participate in a Bitcoin network, compete to solve a mathematical puzzle, and the first miner to solve this puzzle adds the block to the blockchain. In exchange for adding the block, the miner receives a reward in Bitcoin. Now that you have understood the fundamentals of how Bitcoin works, here are its two major benefits. It is decentralized and deflationary. First, Bitcoin is decentralized, which means that it is not controlled by any government or financial institution. This makes it resistant to censorship and seizure. You have complete control over your money. Your assets can never be frozen. Bitcoin is also a finite currency, which means that there is a limited supply of 21 million only. This makes it a deflationary currency, which means that its value can increase over time. There's no chance to print or create more than 21 million Bitcoin. Another benefit is that Bitcoin cuts the middleman and thus transactions are quite cheap. In our current banking system, it can cost several hundreds of dollars to send money from one country to another. Moreover, it takes several days to arrive. Bitcoin changes this fundamentally. Transactions are cheap and only take a few minutes, no matter from where to where in the world you transfer your Bitcoin to. More, Bitcoin is digital by nature. This means it is possible to turn it into smart money, which is impossible for paper money. I'll go more into depth of the potential of smart money in a later video. Moreover, Bitcoin is banking the unbankable. Everyone on the planet can create his or her wallet. All you need is a mobile phone. This means that the around 1.7 billion unbanked people on our planet can have access to sending and receiving money, which opens up a huge economical potentials for them. Bitcoin can't be changed. 51% of all miners would need to unite in order to change the protocol of Bitcoin, which would allow, for example, to change the number of Bitcoins available. There have been a few attempts in the past to change things in the basic code, which all have been turned down, as no major majority could be reached. Hence, it is highly unlikely or would cost billions and billions of dollars to buy 51% of all miners. However, this would be unprofitable in such an extent that it wouldn't make any sense at all. One of the main risks of Bitcoin is that it is still a relatively new and volatile currency. Its value can fluctuate greatly in a short amount of time, which means that it can be risky to invest in. There's also the risk of hacking and theft, as Bitcoin transactions cannot be reversed or cancelled once they are confirmed. Moreover, the road to acceptance is still a long way. We can compare Bitcoin's current adoption to the internet adoption rate around 1998. We are still very early. When the internet came up, information was centralized in newspapers, books and magazines, and thus not as easily accessible. Today, we can find all sorts of information and knowledge in a matter of seconds from anywhere on the planet. Looking at Bitcoin, it can be described as the internet of money. Today, money is centralized by governments and central banks, not being accessible for everyone on the planet. In the future, money will be decentralized, digital and accessible for everyone everywhere around the globe in just a matter of seconds. You want to know the best way to secure your Bitcoin? Check out my video explaining all the possible ways and giving you a specific recommendation for the best setup to do it.